Well, another busy day. Got this weed eater going. It had a broken throttle and a jammed up throttle cable. Only problem with that is I ordered one and they sent me the wrong one. They sent me one for the brush cutter, which is the ones with the handlebars. It's the same model, FS55R, but it's the brush cutter throttle cable. So it was way too long. So I have an FS55R, so I ended up having to take mine apart to take the cable off of mine and put it on his, and then I bought myself a new one. So problem is it's not going to be here until like July 24th, so I mean it's going to take a while for it to get here. So unfortunately I skipped trimming the last time because I was testing out a lawnmower, so I just tested the lawnmower and I didn't trim. Usually I always do my cutting on Sunday, and so it's like on Friday, or just right after rainstorm. Anyway, I tested it, so I didn't trim, but now I can't trim until I get that cable. Somebody's gonna say, well, why didn't you trim before you took the cable off? And I thought about it, but like I've been telling everybody, I'm trying to rest my back a bit. It's been a little strained. It gets better every day. I mean, today I'm doing really well. It's more of a stiff type of pain now, instead of that shooting, take your breath away pain that hits you every now and then. So it's getting better. I've been taking my copper tablets. I told you about that. I took some Tylenol and some Aleve. I got confused this morning. I couldn't remember. I meant to take Tylenol when I got out of bed, but then I thought, well, did I take the Aleve? So I've skipped the Aleve today. If I did not take it and I took Tylenol, I skipped the Aleve. I'll take it tonight. And the ice packs, I'm putting ice on it. That seems to help out quite a bit, at least initially. And then, and then last night I got this Cub Cadet. This shouldn't be too tough. I'm hopeful. It's got an oil leak, so we'll go through all the spots it typically leaks. The valve cover on these are notorious for leaking because they got this cork gasket. So I bought a new gasket. It should be here tomorrow, and I'm not going to worry about it. The guy absolutely wants it to stop leaking, so I don't want to risk it. What it is, it's his uncle's lawnmower, and he's 85 years old, and I think the nephew just wants it to run long enough until, his uncle passes away. I don't think he wants to put a lot of money into it. I know that's terrible, but I can understand that, sinking a lot of money into a mower, and then he passes away, and then what do you got? So he asked me to get the leak fixed so he doesn't have to come over and put oil in it anymore. And then the belt keeps falling off. I already figured out what that is. One of the guides is in the wrong spot, so I'll move that and put a new belt on. So I'll have to change the oil because the oil drain is just finger tight. I mean, it comes right out, so I'm going to have to take that off, put some Teflon on it, put it back in. Well, in the meantime, the oil's just going to drain out. It could use a new battery, but he didn't ask me to do anything else, so we'll just leave it like it is. And then I'll take the top off to make sure there's no more leaks. I cleaned off the pulley here just to monitor, see if there's any leaking going on the pulley, from the bottom seal. I have a gasket for up here, and I have a seal, so if I don't have to order that if that turns out to be a problem. But it doesn't look like it's leaking. I cleaned that this morning, and there's nothing on it. I don't know, can you see? Yeah, you can see that. So we'll wash this off real good. I tell you, people always get so shocked when they see their old filthy mower shining like new when I wash it. So had a guy call me yesterday. I didn't even understand what he wanted. First of all, he called me the wrong name, and I kept trying to correct him, and he didn't want to be corrected. And so I had to spell it out, and then he spelled it wrong. So I don't know. I gave up on trying to tell him what my name was. And he says, do you work on Exmart? And I said, no, you need to take that to the dealer. The last Exmart I had here was the valve they don't give you specifications. So the valves, I had to adjust the valves. So I'm looking up for the tolerance, and there was nothing. So I adjusted it to what the industry standard pretty much is, which is 4 to 7 thousandths, thinking that's got to be okay. And it wasn't. It was 15 thousandths. So I was like 11 thousandths too small. But the thing is I couldn't find any specifications online. When you would ask, when you go to Xmart and you would say, it would say, here's the phone number to your local dealer, please take your mower to the dealer. It wouldn't give you any information. So fortunately, the customer had the owner's manual, and he says, oh, it's right here. So that's the only way I could get it. I couldn't even download the owner's manual. So I decided I'm not going to work on them. And when you watch YouTube videos, nobody is working on Xmart that well, I mean, a couple people, but nothing serious. I can't tell if it's got a compression relief in it. Yeah. So I decided I'm just not going to work on those right now. They're a Toro lawnmower, offshoot of Toro. So anyway, he calls and says, you work on Xmart? I said, no, it's hard to find specifications for that. He says, I just need a oil seal replaced. I said, yeah, I'd rather not work on it, because if I can't find a part, then, you know, I got lawnmower sitting here I can't fix. I said, just take it to the dealer. And he says, there's no dealers here. I said, yeah, I know, that's unfortunate, but you can take it to Kansas. That's the only place you can buy it, I think, for around here. I looked yesterday, couldn't find it. You can buy it online and they'll deliver it. So I don't know if that's how people are doing it, but there's just not a lot of information on these mowers. So he's arguing with me. No, you know, so I said, I had a mower here one time and I tried to adjust the valves and I couldn't find any specifications for them. So there's just no information on it. He says, you don't need to adjust the valves. You don't know what you're talking about. I just need a seal removed and replaced. I said, sir. He says, I'm 85 years old. I'd do it myself, but I don't want to get them down. I said, sir, I didn't mean for you that I need to adjust your valves. What I meant was, as an example, that I've done one before, and there's just no information. So I don't do them. Well, it's not that hard. I said, what if I can't find a part? Well, just call the dealer. I said, sir, they're in Kansas City. You said you didn't want to take your mower to Kansas City. I don't want to drive to Kansas City to get the part. So you're not going to work on it? No, I don't think I'm going to work on it. He says, well, okay. Then hangs up. So he was a little stubborn. But I guess you're going to run into that. I think I said this in the past. I'm going to be really picky with customers. When they get like that, I mean, he was deliberately calling me by the wrong name. And people do that. They'll call you by the wrong name to get the upper hand. And so I'm just going to be picky. If they get too stubborn, I'm going to say, I don't think so. I'm a little busy, or, you know, something. Which I am pretty busy. I don't want to downplay it. I am busy. So it wouldn't even be a fabrication of, you know, a stretch of information. So, or even a stretch of truth. But they just want to toy with you. I mean, this guy over here with this John Deere, it's just not serious. I mean, I'm not too worried about it, but he was in such a hurry to get that thing done. I think I mentioned that in yesterday's video. He needed it now. So he brings it over at 5 o'clock Thursday. Well, I can't do anything. I can't even order parts. So Friday morning, I order parts. Well, you know, maybe I did order parts that night. It doesn't matter. So I order parts as soon as I feasibly can order them, so I can start working on servicing this lawnmower. Of course, nobody ships anything on the weekends, so you got Friday to order, and then Tuesday the parts come in at 9:30. I had it done by 10:30. I call him. He says, "Oh, I can't pick it up. I'm busy. Maybe Thursday I can come pick it up." He says, "Do you will you drop it off for me?" And I said, "Yeah, I can for an additional charge." "Well, no, I don't want to pay more." Okay. But that's just the way it is. I don't mind doing it. He says, "Well, no, you're just going to have to wait till Thursday." Well, why did I rush around getting you your mower that you needed right now done? The thing is, he had a pressure washer they need to get done too. So he brought that over at the same time. And I got the pressure washer done that day. So, I don't know, it was 6 o'clock or so. I called him up and he says, maybe it was Friday. Anyway, I don't remember. Maybe it was Friday that I said Thursday, maybe it was Friday. So anyway, I called him and I said, I know you need this now. I said, it's done. Do you have any cash available that you can pay me? Yeah, he says, I'll go to the ATM and get some. So, I mean, he came right over and got it because he needed that right now. So, but I guess he didn't need the lawnmower. So it just sits here. And then I had a Toro. No, what is that? I can't even think of the name. Troy-Bilt. I got Troy-Bilt over there. And the fan on the transmission has broken off. So got that ordered, I guess Monday, Tuesday. Anyway, so this is Wednesday. And I got that replaced. That was pretty easy. So I think he feels like it's my fault. He told me to replace the deck belt, or the drive belt. So I replaced the drive belt. Everything went smooth. He actually cut grass with it a couple times already. Everything was fine, and then the belt fell off. And what happened was, when the belt fell off, it rubbed around the fan and melted the fan off. So when I went down in there to look, somebody has bent all the belt guides down. So there was nothing holding it in when you hit the brake. You know, when you hit the brake, it goes up against those belt guides and keeps it from falling off. So I bent all those back now, but that was way in the back. I didn't even see it. And I even asked Carolyn, is that something do I need to do a complete inspection on every mower that comes in here? That's not what I'm being paid to do. It was obvious it just needed a new belt. The thing was almost broken half. There was huge gashes in it. It just needed a belt. There was nothing indicating that the belt guides were not in the right spot. Plus, there was 2 pulleys that needed replaced. One was just in bad shape and it was bent. There was a ding in it. And the other one was just the wrong pulley. So I replaced those. So it wasn't like I was just cheating a guy. But anyway, I think he's okay. I didn't charge him any labor. I just charged him for the new fan, which was, you know, what, 10 or 15 bucks. And he was okay with that. So, but it was easy enough to replace. And, you know, like I said, he was out there mowing and probably doing wheelies with it. So who knows? It's hard to say, especially when somebody gets into your mower and does work on it and starts bending things, and what can a mechanic do? I mean, you make assumptions that, you know, you're just replacing a belt. So, well, I think I'm going to jump off of here, rest my back some more. So if you'll click this up next box, it'll take you to a video on my other channel. It's a brand new video. Appreciate it if you go check it out. So I hope I can inspire you to get through the day so you live your dreams. Thanks for watching.